Success is possible in Forex trading, and depending on how you view the market, it's possible, but it will certainly take time. The weaknesses that traders all over the world have with the market is perception of the market. When I started earlier, and a couple of years ago, I've always looked at the market and want to know what the monthly chart is doing, the weekly chart, and the other time frame and everything. But probably because I use mobile phone, and I don't see the whole of the market, and even if I do, I don't really understand some of the things that play out. And like every other trader that have struggled, that have been struggling, I would read up things on the internet, and I would want to try to see how to make something from some of those things. I read about double tops, double bottom, and everything. So when I look at a monthly chart, and I'll be like, the monthly chart, if there's maybe a double top or double bottom around the monthly chart, it should affect the behavior of the weekly, and then behavior on daily time frame and everything. So I tried to use it. I did that over and over and over. I failed. Now, being able to have an edge, you ought to have a system. You have to work out a system that works for you, and probably that works for certain pairs in the market. It's not really any of those things that's online. A lot of the things online, people just say things to make some money, and all of those things, they don't really know how, or probably it works for them, but because they are too difficult for you to understand and to implement and all that, you don't really get the result. And now I woke up and I put on my computer. Prior to that time, I decided that I was going to, of course I had stopped always trading. I do a lot of tech and so many other things. I had stopped always trading, placing trade. After at the time I shut down everything and concentrated in tech. Then, but after a while I said, okay, no, I would put up the MetaTrader on my device and on the computer and everything, and take time to look at the chart and study and go over the market again and see if I could maybe learn one or two things and everything. But it's not about just trading, no. So after I've done that, I started my research. Before I used phone, now I said, no, I'm not going to use phone, I'm going to use up my computer. I have to see everything and go through it over and over and again, and get every aspect of the market treated myself, price action and everything, and see how it plays out, so that I don't use phone, in which I said I was going to look at when did the market started. Okay, with my EURUSD, I would see it started 1972. Probably that's when almost every market commenced, as I went online and everything, the Forex market. I put it up, and I would be studying it while I do other things. Of course, you can't always be in the market all the time, so you can have a good understanding of it. You have to do other things, come back to it, but you have to really be doing technical things around you, so that, because the market too is tactical, it's technical. So after I had started the research, I was doing some things. I was opening up different currency pairs, and I'll trace their behavior from the beginning. I'll study the trend from 1972, for example, for EURUSD, and then I'll take it up, and I'll follow it up till I get to what it is today. So when I woke up one morning and I put up my system, put up the MetaTrader on the laptop, and I remember that day my wife wasn't feeling so well and all that, even though it was a busy day, very early already, but I sensed something. My perception of the market changed from that day. I realized that since I always look at the market from a general point of view, and since I always love going to the monthly chart to know what it does, for my favorite pairs, not all the pairs does that, there will always be a trend in the monthly chart, and the trend will move for the whatever period, whatever number of months and even years, and it gets to a point that the trend has terminated, has stopped, and then after the trend has stopped, there will be a form of resistance and support that it creates for about 2, 3 or more times before there will be a reversal. Now, so it's not just about the market moving up and down and all that. There's a particular region it does that. For my favorite pairs, after a trend has elapsed, has finished, the market returns back to the last lap of what powered the trend. That is, the market returns back to the last part of the trend, to the support it created, the last support it created before the trend expired. The market comes back to it. When it comes back to that support, it could be a little bit maybe before the support, on the support, or a little bit after it. When it returns to that support, it goes back up. The trend can't continue. It goes back to the resistance, comes back to that support. It keeps doing that. You know, now, the earlier mistake, like every other person would do, was to think that, of course, I had no understanding of this, probably in the monthly chart and all that. So I'll just look at the monthly chart shabbily, and then maybe I'll be like, is there a double top, a double bottom in the monthly chart? You should be able to affect. It's not really that. It's not that. There has to be a trend, and the trend have its supports, has where it does consolidation. So the last one before it terminates, for certain pairs, is a good point to come back to and go up again, creating resistances that are not too far from where the trend terminated in the first time. They are not too far from where the trend terminated. So they don't just create resistances and come back to the support. From the support, it goes back, does that. Now, a reversal will be triggered from the resistance, not necessarily from the support. From the resistance, either by news or by whatever thing that triggers the market, or by liquidity, available liquidity that must have been generated by those support and resistance it's creating. Then from the last resistance, which nobody knows anyway, but if you study it, if you follow it, you would know. But many people don't go there because people will always think that from that resistance the trend will continue. Trend does not continue after it has terminated. There has to be a reversal before another trend. There has to be a reversal. If there's no official reversal, there would just be a kind of up and down move from where it originally terminated to certain supports on the trend and all that. So the last resistance, if you follow it, which most people's eyes will not go there because they'll be wanting to put up there and continue going up. The market does not go up. The market don't always go up forever. The market will reverse and get to a key. Would probably a kind of nullify the existing trend and then create a new support. From that support, it will conquer the old trend and probably outsmart it and go up before it overcomes that trend completely. It has to reverse the old trend before it starts a new trend and overcome the previous trends. The support and resistance it creates after the trend has terminated is not enough. It's not enough liquidity to continue the trend. It must gather liquidity by trying to reverse the old trend and then it will move. And that's what makes the difference. Not every pair actually does this very well, but a number of pairs, few pairs in the market does that. So they are my chosen pairs. Pairs that behave like that, they are my best, and I use them all the time. The lower, the fewer the security, the fewer the pairs you trade, the easier for you. If you always have to trade all the pairs in the market, you will never ever be able to understand what the market does. But if you choose some few pairs, 2, 3 or less or more, but not more than 5, you can really understand what the market, you can take time, because it pays to take time to know the market than always trading. It's not about always trading. Yes, for the new traders, you have to trade. You have to lose a lot of money so that you can really get a grasp of the market. You would not understand the market if you have not traded, if you have not over traded. Yes, that's the truth from the start. For a starter, you have to trade and possibly over trade. That's when you would have failed and have a perception of the market that is, except you're lucky to get someone who guides you from the start and then shields you, you know, from the fallings and the years of having to discover things yourself. So apart from that, you would have to overtrade and lose a lot of money, and it will take time. Sometimes it's suicidal and all that. For me, it was, and for most others that actually got success, it's suicidal to succeed in forex trading yourself. When you get someone who has been through it and had to get a system that works, then that will be helpful for you. But anything different from that, forex is killing. It's difficult. Just like it's difficult to succeed in every other thing. Succeeding in forex is daunting. It's something that you don't wake up one morning and you pick it up and then all that. I don't know about most other things. I don't see anyone who has succeeded in Forex who didn't lose a lot of money and time and everything and suffered over and over. I don't know. And probably that's because there's no, for some parts of the world, there are no school or education pathway and all that. There's no university degree. If they get to be a university degree in Forex, probably people will get to know it and study it, and maybe it will improve the success in it. But for now, you'll be lucky to get someone who would really tell you everything about the market. You would be very, very lucky. A lot of things that are being said are not really the way they are. They're just things that are assumed and everything, expecting that they work, and expecting that probably it turns out the right thing. When you know it, you know it. But when you don't know it, you might never know it. You don't know it. The market is so deep and wide. The market is something that that's something that somehow people would have their own challenges. Some has their challenges with how the fastness of the market. Some have challenges with the fact that there are a lot of time frames to battle with and all that. Some has challenges with the liquidity and everything. There are different manner of challenges that limits, that reduces success rates in Forex trading. But just like every other thing, you have to trust that your consistency would yield something sooner or later, or sooner than later. You have to trust that whatever you put in years would eventually bring up something very worth it. We're going to be saying a lot of other things. After a while, it will be a bit practical in the systems that we'll be introducing to everyone that will be in this channel, and a lot of other things that would follow. As many that would be subscribed here and will always come around here and all of that.